Now on BBC One, with the latest from the Caribbean, Manish Bhasin is at the Cricket World Cup.
Good evening and welcome to St Lucia, which today hosted England's second game of the World Cup against Canada. However, it was to be a day dominated by news off the field and some very sad news shining the world of international cricket. Pakistan coach Bob Woolmer was found dead today in his hotel room at the age of 58. His body was discovered in his hotel room in Jamaica and was taken to a nearby hospital in Kingston. Well, following this devastating news, the Pakistan Cricket Board released this statement.
Robert Andrew Woolmer, the Pakistan team coach, has passed away today. The entire Pakistan team and management are shocked and saddened by his passing. His next of kin have been informed, and we extend our deepest condolences to his family. The chairman of the Pakistan Cricket Board, Dr. Naseem Ashraf, has also been informed. There will be a coroner's inquest, and in keeping with Jamaican law, an autopsy will take place to determine the cause of his death.
Well, sad news indeed, and unsurprisingly, the Pakistan players were stunned at the team hotel. The world of cricket and those who knew Woolmer best have been paying their respects.
Bob is like our father. I think he's the best coach I ever played under him, and I think he's a very good man, and we all enjoy playing under his coaching. So we all miss him.
He'll be definitely missed by one and all because he was a thorough professional, and he could absorb all the pressure. He was in unknown territory, and he was taken to task by his critics. But he always looked at the positive side, even when he was being criticized. And he was willing to be part of Pakistan team. And at the end of the day, I think he'll definitely be very much missed by everyone.
He was a friend of cricket. He was a cricket man through and through. I mean, he lived the game. He breathed the game. He was always thinking of ways to improve the game. And it's a very sad loss for cricket.
It's tragic, the circumstances that he died under, particularly after Pakistan's loss yesterday. But the only good thing I can say, he died serving the game. And he was a great student of the game. He was a lover of the game. And I first played against Bob as a young student, and he was batting at the other end. He then became our coach, and he taught us how to play one-day cricket. And I think his legacy in one-day cricket is still around.
Well, I've been joined by Angus Fraser and Jonathan Agnew. I think it's fair to say day 6 of the World Cup has been totally overshadowed by today's tragic events.
It's devastating, absolutely devastating. Everyone in the world of cricket knew, admired and completely respected Bob Woolmer, someone who loved the game of cricket, who lived for the game of cricket, a lovely player to watch. I remember watching him as a child, a wonderful, innovative coach, the first really of the laptop brigade, those who really went into computer analysis. Warwickshire, South Africa, Pakistan, he touched everybody, even Ireland, of course, when he went to the ICC there. It's devastating. And what the effect of the Pakistan team, of course, just remains to be seen.
Angus, your reaction to today's news?
Again, it's terrible news. I didn't play against Bob. I think you did, didn't you? But I worked with him during my time in the media, and it was just his energy, his love for the game. Always enthusiastic, always prepared to talk. Sort of figure, again, as a journalist, you could just go up to on the off chance, and he'd always make time for you. And always thinking about the game, trying to move the game forward, and he'll be sadly missed because, as I say, I've rarely seen anybody show as much passion for the game of cricket as he has. And over such a long period of time, he's been through a tough period with Pakistan, but it didn't seem to diminish in any way at all.
Sure. Well, we'll have a tribute to Bob Woolmer a little later in the programme. In fact, this morning, today's events were somewhat the talking points concerned Andrew Flintoff, of course, and his omission from the England team for their game against Canada. This morning's newspapers reported that following the defeat to New Zealand on Friday, Flintoff and a number of England players had spent the night in a St Lucia nightclub. This ended apparently in the early hours of Saturday morning with the all-rounder capsizing a pedalo at sea near the team hotel. Well, Duncan Fletcher's response was to fine a number of players, but Flintoff was singled out and stripped of the vice-captaincy as well as being dropped from today's game. The ECB confirmed later that Anderson, Bell, Lewis, Nixon and Plunkett had also been fined. Meanwhile, Flintoff's absence meant a start for 21-year-old Essex all-rounder Ravi Bopara at the Beau Séjour ground. St Lucia, volcanic island with natural rainforests, banana plantations and home to Nobel Prize winner poet and playwright Derek Walcott. The island changed hands 16 times between the French and the English in the 18th century, and England are somewhat under siege again after their opening loss to New Zealand. Well, the England players will have been pleased to finally get the game underway, and they were asked to bat after John Davison won the toss for Canada. But before Michael Vaughan rushed off to put his pads on, Michael Atherton grabbed him for a quick grilling.
Mike, if I could have a quick word. Your team news today?
Yeah, Ravi Papara comes in for Freddie Flintoff, and unfortunately there's been a breach of team discipline, and Ravi makes his World Cup debut.
You've left Andrew Flintoff out, but the team issued a statement yesterday saying you disciplined a number of players. Why has Andrew been singled out?
We'll talk about it later on as a management group. We just want to focus on today's game. That's been the decision. We obviously didn't get a great start against New Zealand on Friday. We're just looking forward to trying to get the World Cup on the way and try and beat Canada today.
Haven't seen Andrew here. Is he at the ground?
No, he's not here today. He's back at the hotel. But we're just looking forward to the game. It's a good chance for Ravi to show everyone what he can do, and we're looking forward to getting a good result today.
And it wasn't long before the England openers were heading out to the middle to face an opening attack including a World Cup veteran. It's been a trivia question doing the rounds recently. Name the 5 players who played in the '92 World Cup who are competing here in the Caribbean. The clue is one of them's bowling here. While Tendulkar, Inzi, Jayasuriya and Lara roll off the tongue, the bonus ball answer is definitely AC Cummins. Well, the 40-year-old Anderson was a little wide off the mark early on, but the England batsman would have to be watchful against a man with 63 West Indies caps behind him. We join playing the 3rd over with Cummins bowling to Joyce. So a spirited effort from Canada after the early England breakthroughs. Ashif Mullah was perhaps the pick with his half-century, and a good all-round effort from Sunil Duniram with his late runs. A good workout too for the England bowlers, Liam Plunkett picking up 2 for 46 and Ravi Papara picking up a brace in only his 2nd international match. So England win by 51 runs and are off the mark in the 9th Cricket World Cup.
We played pretty well today. It was good to get out and play and produce quite a good score. And at times we bowled well, but there was at times when we weren't at our best today. And we have to also take a lot of positives from some of the performances today, but also be pretty critical that we weren't at our best as well. But it was a tough day. It's been a tough 24 hours. It's nice to get a victory.
Yeah, it was workmanlike along the way, wasn't it? But you needed to win today just to get up and running.
Yeah, the important thing today was winning. We've got that. Full credit to the Canadian side. They put us under a lot of pressure at times, and when they came out of the batting, that partnership in the middle of the innings started to get us wondering, could they get themselves over the line? So, full credit for them for the way they played. Delighted that we've got the victory, and there's some real good positives to come out of the game. But there's also a few areas that we need to work on as well.
Like?
Some in the bowling and also with the batting. We didn't get a guy to 100, and we were a little bit wayward with the new ball today. So there's areas where we need to work, but there's also a lot of positives to take from the game.
So England up and running then with 2 points. They now have to beat Kenya on Saturday to reach the Super 8 phase. Well, we've seen some comprehensive wins in this tournament for the likes of South Africa, Australia against the so-called minnows. But today that was a laboured victory for England, wasn't it, Gus?
It was a win, but it wasn't a particularly impressive performance. I suppose you could maybe understand it with what's been taking place in the last 48 hours or so, and I'm sure the players were distracted, but they've got a big 5 days ahead of them now to get themselves right for that Kenyan game.
Uninspiring, unconvincing. It's done nothing to calm my nerves about that Kenya match.
No, not at all.
You still think we get stuck?
That's going to be a big game.
Now, peddling distance from this marina, Freddie Flintoff's been making all sorts of headlines. What did you make of all this, Agus?
Stupid, brainless, and it's a remarkable state of affairs. 6 of the 15 players have been disciplined when they've got 2 World Cup matches in 3 days. What does that tell you about the regime that's in place? What does it tell you about the discipline of the team, the authority, the respect for the coach and the coach's authority? It says, well, a lot actually about that. Dreadful state of affairs. I mean, the England fans love Andrew Flintoff, and yet it was the England fans who shopped him. They saw him out there and they thought, I'm sorry, we've had enough of this. Click, click on the camera phone, back to the newspapers at home. It's a stupid thing to have done.
It is. I mean, it's irresponsible. It puts the other players in an awful position as well. It spoils their tournament. They're going to feel guilty about going out at any time now, and the trust between everybody connected with the England team, whether it's the players and the supporters and the management, has broken down on the back of it. So, not a very good day for England in any way at all.
Sure, he was left out of the squad as a result. Ravi Papara stepped into the breach, 2 wickets, and he scored 29 with the bat. Could he
played
be in
well,
there for the
actually.
Kenya team?
Well, those runs were useful runs because
Yeah.
England really were starting to flounder then, weren't they, in the middle? I mean, no, Freddie's going to come back. Of course he will, and hopefully we'll see Freddie rejuvenated, focused,
Yeah.
and really concentrating on the job in hand.
He may come back instead of Dalrymple, though. Dalrymple's
Yeah.
not had a very good tournament to date, and they may fancy playing the extra seamer ahead of a spinner.
OK, well, it's been a dramatic day, and some news filtering through. The Pakistan captain, Inzamam ul Haq, is standing down as the one-day skipper of the national side, so his last game will be in this tournament against Zimbabwe. Right, action coming up then of the holders, that is Australia against the Netherlands. But first, of course, it's the hosts in action tomorrow, and they got this competition off to a flying start in Jamaica.
Sabina Park, Kingston, still basking in the afterglow of a West Indies win in the opening game over Pakistan. A victory achieved with great help from an unlikely source. Many question the inclusion of Dwayne Smith in the Windies squad after a series of poor performances, but the all-rounder responded emphatically.
Someone will catch it in the bounce stand.
The 24-year-old Bayesian smashed 32 from just 15 balls to take his side to a respectable 241 for 9. It was an innings that showed few nerves.
It's just to be careful and be watchful, and anything I know that is off target and it's in my slot, I can go with it, and it's just to be for me to be confident in myself and to go out there and forget about the crowd and everything and just to do what I had to do for my team.
He then played his part with the ball.
Gone, that's it. That's what they needed, the West Indies. That could be close. Yes, the finger goes up. Dwayne Smith has had a good day.
His 3 for 36 lifted a bowling attack that's been maligned in the past for being too wayward.
It was a big improvement for us because we've given like 20-something extras and things like that. So it was good for us. We gave away 4 extras. I think it was 2 wides and 2 leg wides or something like that. So it was good.
The Windies are not getting carried away with their success, as Pakistan's defeat at the hands of Ireland has put their own performance in perspective. So the focus for Smith and co is to keep the momentum going.
Got off to the start and we've beaten the best team probably in the group, as people would have said, but for us now to go into the other 2 games and play them as hard as we can and try to come up with some good wins and send a message to the others that we have to play.
The Windies' winning start and Smith's man of the match performance has now got the home fans firmly on their side.
It's great. I didn't know it would actually be like that. Probably because of the game on Friday, but after we got that there onto the win and they started to react and things like that, it was good, lovely.
So the home crowd will be looking forward to that. It's West Indies versus Zimbabwe. Live commentary, of course, on 5 Live Sports Extra, Radio 4 Longwave and via BBC Online. And we'll be back at 11:30 tomorrow night with highlights along with action from India against Bermuda. That's 11:05, of course, for tomorrow. Right, let's look ahead then to today's big game in St Kitts. Mark Pugac picks up the story.
Off the back of their against South Africa.
Well, Angus, that's 2 clinical victories now for Australia. They're motoring along nicely, aren't they?
Yeah, they're showing the way that you should treat them in. Another player's got 100, Michael Clark, today. So they'll be pretty happy with the way they're going along and moving towards the Super 8s.
And how big is that game now with South Africa next Sunday?
Well, huge, except that you know they're going to go through. This is the thing. It's still going to be the biggest game of the tournament so far. Andrew Simons are hoping to have back for that. I saw him running around on television today like a 400-metre runner.
Yeah.
So if he's back and fit again, of course, they'll be even stronger.
OK, well, the cricketing world, of course, is recovering from today's devastating news and the death of the Pakistan coach Bob Woolmer, who died today at the age of 58. Mark Pugac pays this tribute.
Bob Woolmer was born in India, played for England and coached both South Africa and Pakistan. He truly was a global man of cricket. When his proud parents returned home with their new baby to their house in Kanpur, his father placed a cricket ball and bat in one corner of his cot and said, "Son, I hope this will be your life." And it certainly was.
He'll always be remembered as a brilliant coach. He'll always be remembered who'd work well with different cultures. his range of pupils, start from English to South Africans to Pakistanis.
He died serving the game, and he was a great student of the game. He was a lover of the game. When I first played against Bob as a young student, and he was batting at the other end, he then became our coach, and he taught us how to play one-day cricket. And I think his legacy in one-day cricket is still around.
I think he's the best coach I ever played under him, and I think he's a very good man, and we all enjoy playing under his coaching. So we all miss him.
But he was a friend of cricket. He was a cricket man through and through. I mean, he lived the game. He breathed the game. He was always thinking of ways to improve the game, and it's a very sad loss for cricket.
Made a huge impact on world cricket. Made a huge impact on English cricket. You know, it's a sad day. Winning today is obviously what we wanted, but our thoughts are with Bob's family, and I think the whole world of cricket, you know, will be saddened by the loss of what has been a great player and a great coach.
Woolmer played county cricket for Kent and represented England on 19 occasions, scoring 3 Test centuries, all of them against Australia. In fact, in only his second Test in 1975, he scored 149 against Dennis Lillee and Jeff Thomson, holding out for more than 8 hours as England followed on and saved the game. If he didn't quite make the impact he wanted to as a player, Bob Woolmer certainly did as a coach. He was acknowledged as being a great thinker and innovator, and pioneered the use of computers to show, for example, where opposing batsmen like to score their runs. From Warwickshire, he went to coach South Africa, and still Woolmer was looking to push the game along. Witness the time in the 1999 World Cup when his captain Hansie Cronje took to the field wearing an earpiece. But it was a World Cup which ended in the bitter disappointment of losing a dramatic semi-final to Australia at Edgbaston. After a spell as the ICC's high-performance manager, Woolmer returned to coaching with Pakistan and was in charge during last summer's series with England. Pakistan have endured a miserable World Cup out in the West Indies, and the defeat by Ireland means they're out. But that pales into insignificance compared to Bob Woolmer's tragic early death. As one of his cricketing sons, the fast bowler Alan Donald, said, he gave his life to cricket and probably paid for it.
Our tribute there to Bob Woolmer, and a big loss to the sport, Agus.
Huge. It's devastating, and it's hit this tournament incredibly hard. You wonder how the Pakistan players feel. They've been knocked out, but are still here. They've got a very important game to play on Wednesday. We know now it's going to be Inzamam's last match in charge, and Bob would want the show to go on. You know, I mean, he really would. He loved cricket. He lived for cricket. He'll want them to play that game. Let's hope they do, and I'm sure they will. They are committed to doing so, and it'll be a very sad, very moving occasion.
Okay. Gentlemen, thanks very much indeed. Angus Fraser and Jonathan Agnew. Well, it certainly has been a very sad day in the cricketing world, no doubt putting everything in perspective. From Jonathan, Angus and from myself in St Lucia, goodbye.